Live from Channel 11, you're watching 11 at 11. 11 minutes of non-stop news and your forecast first.
You hear the phrase open heart surgery, you tend to think of older patients, but many young patients need a helping hand with their hearts too.
And when those tiniest patients go into the operating room, their parents can't be there with them. But with the help of a local artist, mom and dad don't miss a beat. Our health reporter Teresa Green has that story.
Like so many artists, Susan Rusell Hall finds beauty and inspiration in many places. With skillful movement, a palette of color, and a vision, she brings a blank canvas to life. But when Susan's not working here in her studio, this artist's focus shifts to medicine. The tools Susan uses here in her studio are a lot different than those of a surgeon, and yet Susan's tools have found a home in the OR. For 17 years now, Susan's been doing this, working side by side with cardiac surgeons.
I've documented over 4,500 different surgeries.
As the surgeons work on some of their youngest patients, she captures the procedure in a way only an artist can, to help the patient's parents better understand what's going on.
That's the hole, and these are the stitches to close it.
Illustrating in the OR, though, offers a unique set of challenges.
You're on your feet for long periods of time. You're not sitting down at a desk or drafting table. You have to work very quickly. You've got to know all the anatomy and also the procedures, because everything's obviously going to go as quickly as possible.
These sketches won't hang in any art museum. They may not draw an art critic's notice. Yet this work has its own unique rewards.
And this is the right atrium. And you work really hard. You're totally focused on what you're doing. And at the end of the day, you have a set of drawings that you can hand to the parents that are so appreciative to know what's going on. You really feel good about how you're using your talents.
Talents honed here in Susan's studio amid brushes and paint. And again, with skillful movement, a palette of color, and a vision, the world as seen by an artist comes to life. In Seattle, Teresa Green, Channel 11 News.
And by the way, many of Susan's sketches from the operating room have also been used in medical journals to help illustrate professional articles written by renowned cardiac surgeons.
This is Mornings Live on Q.
7 It is a day the Lee family never imagined they would have to face. The day they sent their 9-month-old daughter Allie to the operating room to repair a congenital heart defect. It is a day Susan Rusell Hall hopes to make a little easier.
I can't imagine how stressful it must be if your child has to undergo surgery, and especially open heart or heart surgery.
Not only stressful, but complicated and oftentimes confusing for parents. And that's why Susan is here. She doesn't perform the surgery, though. She draws it, working alongside her husband, pediatric cardiac surgeon Dr. Dale Hall.
The problem with real photographs is that you have all the blood and the tissue, and it's so hard to look at those. I mean, even for somebody in the field, it's very difficult to look at the photographs. Where with the drawing, they're done in black and white, everything's labeled, everything's explained, so they can go through step by step and see exactly what happened to their child.
Susan has spent the last 21 years doing this unique type of medical illustration. Here at Mary Bridge in Tacoma, she volunteers her talents every single time.
What a good way to use your talent. There's something that you can do to help somebody else in a time of crisis. I think that's really important.
It was for the Lee family. When Allie's surgery was over, Susan was there, ready to explain exactly what took place in the operating room.
Once you get the hole closed and you know that that's done and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
The artist was in there when the doctor had her chest open. And that's a drawing of Allie's heart, and it's comforting. I mean, knowledge, you know, the knowledge that you get from that, and you know, it's kind of neat.
I think you laugh with parents and you cry with parents, and you know, there's just kind of a bond that you share there.
We're on the home stretch now. This is good. The surgery went great, and Allie's in recovery. She's going to be fine, and just real happy that they can do what they can do.
Yeah.
Now, Susan is also a painter. You're looking at some of her work here, and her work has been shown for the last 10 years at the Woodside Braceth Gallery in Seattle. So not only talented, you know, in surgery, but talented